Have you ever planted potatoes? Today we're going to learn about the varieties, the types, the way they grow, and how to care for your potatoes. Good morning. My name is Deb from Just Do Something Homestead, and today we're going to learn all about raising potatoes. One of my all-time favorite foods is potatoes. I love them baked and mashed and cheesy and just about anything. Potatoes are a wonderful crop to raise. Today I'm going to go over my 7 favorite varieties of potatoes that I grow. The potatoes that are in the big brown bags are potato seeds from potatoes I grew last year. And that's why they say seed, that's seed potato 2022. So we're going to go over those first. The first one is one of my favorites. They are the fingerling potatoes. Fingerlings are long and narrow. Now, this is a seed potato, so that's not showing you how large they will be. This is just a mini little one that I'm going to use to reproduce more. But a fingerling is best used to wash it really good and slice it, and I use them in my fried potatoes. So these are fingerling. As you can see, these are the new potato plants trying to grow. I store all of my potatoes in my pantry, which is completely dark. They're in these paper bags, which are in a cupboard, and the room is set at 50 degrees, but they're very anxious to get started growing this year. So the first one was fingerling. The next one, I simply wrote yellow potato seed. What that is Yukon Gold. And there's something very interesting about this one. It also is starting to grow and is trying to find some light. So that's where you have all of those shoots coming off. But let's look what else we have going on. They are starting to get little potatoes growing, and that is very, very common. So if I would have left them in the bag, they would have produced a lot of tiny potatoes. So that is my second one that I raise, and that is Yukon Gold. My next favorite one is Amish potato, and these come from the Amish in Pennsylvania. I picked them up many years ago, but they are some of the potatoes that grow the strongest. They are white potatoes, but look at this shoot. This is how they all are. It just goes on and on and on. And you might say, my goodness, can you plant that? Well, let me show it to you down here on the table. What I will do with this one when I plant it, sometimes I just wrap it all around it like that and I plant it. But this one's pretty long. I think I'll probably cut it off about there. Let's see, I can't do it with my fingernail. But you can cut them off and just plant the potato with the sprout that is on it. And this is that Amish potato. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it with a pair of scissors right there. And so we don't need that big long shoot. Let's see. That I can just put that in my compost. But this is all I need to plant. It has a little bit of growth coming out of it and the potato. So that one is my Amish potato seed. Next is my red potato seed. Now, I know what I grow. So when I say yellow, I know it's Yukon Gold. When I say red, I know it's Pontiac. This potato you have got to see. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Now, I have seen them like this, but not quite that many. That's the potato. It's all wrinkled up and it's saying, please plant me. Look at all the baby potatoes. This one is definitely just screaming, plant me and plant me soon. So this one is Pontiac. So all of those in the back row that I just showed you, those are potato seeds from the potatoes I grew last year. But I don't always just use the ones I grow. This year I purchased some from a seed catalog. And this is the first one right here. And if I look at the tag, it says Kennebec. And I was just having a horrible time finding Kennebec around here. So I did order some. And as you can see, you don't get a whole lot. And I think it was like $12 for this little bag. So Once I plant these this year, that'll be the last year I have to buy Kennybeck because I will save some. The other variety that I purchased this year is a russet potato, and this one is Burbank. We love russets. Unfortunately, I didn't have a whole lot this year, and I knew when I was cooking them that I better be careful because I was cooking too many of them. These are what I use for baked potatoes. And again, this is just a seed potato. The potatoes you grow will be much, much larger than this. The next variety that I purchased came from a store, and oh my goodness, I am just a sucker for buying seeds. And so I found some more Yukon Gold, and they were relatively inexpensive. They were $3.99, and they look pretty good. So they just fell into my cart. You simply cannot have too many Yukon Golds. And the last potatoes I have are called Red Lesotas, and these came from the farm store. If you're looking for the best and the most inexpensive place to buy your seed potatoes, check out farm stores. I bought this in a 50-pound bag for $25. So definitely look in the farm stores. So you have all your seed potatoes. You are ready to plant, but what do you do next? For me, we like to prepare the soil first. And so today's Saturday. On Friday, Jim went out and he rototilled our potato area. Now, this potato patch is in a fenced-in garden. It has 7-foot fencing because the deer like to jump into gardens around here. So the first thing we do is prepare the soil, and that comes from rototilling. Today, we had a plan. We were going to get up early. We were going to tighten up our fence that the posts had become loose, and then we were going to plant our potatoes. What we didn't count on was the 65-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We're going to try to go plant some taters, but it is super windy, so I don't think that's going to happen. We use woven weave fabric in our garden, and one of the things we needed to do was pull up a few pieces of those. Look at this next video, and you will briefly see the challenges of using that fabric in the wind. So instead of planting potatoes, we gave it up. We put some more posts deeper into the ground. We strengthened them up, but potato planting is going to have to wait a couple more days. Potatoes like to grow in a light, fluffy kind of soil that is well drained. They need room to spread out all those roots and to grow those potatoes big. If you choose to fertilize, a 5-10-10 is a good start. What I like to do is rotate where I plant my potatoes. They tend to pull out the nitrogen, and so if you rotate the crops, they're going to do a little bit better by not depleting the soil of the nutrients they need. So how exactly do you plant potatoes? You look for the eyes. Every place that you see new growth is an eye on a potato. And what you want to do is slice this potato so that every piece has at least one eye on it. So the end of this potato has a lot, so I can cut off the end of this. But when you go over here, you don't want to cut like this part right here. There are no eyes on it, so it's not going to grow. They grow out of the eyes. So with your knife, you can cut it in half, you can cut it in thirds. The most I ever cut would be quarters, but you want to cut it and leave some eyes on each piece. And I cut that, leaving the bulk of those eyes right there on that side. Now, I am going to leave it facing upright so that this side can dry. If I was to plant it just like that, the chance is it's going to rot because it is very, very wet. And so you want this to dry out and kind of put a scab on it. I cut that red potato into thirds. So this one, you can see there are two very strong eyes on that one. And then the last one, we had that one that was already growing, but if you turn it over on that side, there was another one. So all three of those pieces have a lot of eyes on it. So I'm going to leave these out for 1 to 2 days so that it forms a protective outside part. I plant mine 12 inches apart, and I put it about 3 inches down below. When I plant them, I turn it this way so that the part that is growing is going to face upright. As your potato plant starts to grow, it's going to grow upright, and you want to mound the dirt around the base of your potato plant. You do this because any exposed potatoes that start to grow are going to turn green from the sun hitting them. In fact, this little seed potato has a section of green on there. You don't want to eat potatoes that are green. If you have bought potatoes in the grocery store and you see that the skin is green, do not buy them. So the way to prevent that is to hill dirt on top that blocks the sun. Some things to watch out for. Don't overwater your potatoes. They do not like to be in sitting water. They can rot, especially your seedlings when you just get started. Keep an eye out for the Colorado potato bug. They are striped little buggers, and they will come out and they will eat your plants. So make sure you're going out there. All I do is take a can of soapy water with me and knock them into it. So keep an eye on the leaves to make sure you don't have any potato bugs. And other than that, I grow them till the end of the season. At the end of the season, my plant will start to turn brown and die. And once he falls over, I dig up my potatoes. And I love digging potatoes. You just never know what you're going to find. One last thing I wanted to show you on my Yukon Golds that I grew last year. They are so ready to be planted, and I want you to see what's going on in this bag. It is pretty crazy. Look at this. You can't even see my seed potatoes. They are at the bottom, and on top they, are growing baby potatoes. Is this ever crazy or what? So when people post their pictures that have tiny little roots coming out and they say, can I still plant these? Oh my goodness, you should see mine by the time it's time to plant them. So I will trim these back the best I can because they are crying to be planted. If you found this potato video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. And you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.